What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Keeping Up with KP. Yesterday was check-in day, which was my second official check-in post-show. So 2 weeks into my reverse currently, and if you have never reversed out of a show, let me just say, the mind, the body, the hormones, we go through a lot in these first few weeks of our reverse. You know, coming out of show, we get feedback and we want to apply that feedback to our improvement season so that we can improve. So this time period for us athletes, if done correctly, is an adjustment period of implementing a lot of change. And so I certainly am going through that right now. This improvement season for me in particular is very interesting because after my first check-in, we kind of decided to change the focus, or one of the main areas of focus for this improvement season, and that is on my gut health. If this is your first time here, my fitness journey started out as a gut health journey. I am just somebody that's always had a difficult time digesting foods. I'm sensitive to a lot of foods, and so my diet is always very basic, and we have done it that way to just keep things controlled for me, right? But coming out of this show, I did try to enjoy some foods that aren't normally on my plan. I tried adding in a little bit of fluff back into my diet, like my protein powders, some sauces, some spices, some stevia, some carbonation, and my body could not tolerate it. And I just kind of had a moment with myself, and I brought it up to my coach that I really want to focus on my gut health this improvement season so that I can have a more diverse diet moving forward. The thing with our health, wellness, and fitness journeys, you guys, is that things are ever changing. What you put into your body right now is going to change the way your physique looks tomorrow, the next day, you know? So like every input, every choice, every decision you make in real time of how you're moving your body or what you're moving into your body is contributing in one way or another to your goals, whether that is positively contributing and helping you get closer, or if it's negatively contributing and helping you get further away. And it's the same thing with your gut. And so for so long in my journey, specifically during this prep, I have just tried to keep my environment, my gut environment, controlled so that I could bring my best physique to stage. And I certainly did that. And I learned a lot about my body and myself. Like, I learned how to control my gut environment, which isn't an easy thing to do when you are sensitive to a lot of foods. But in doing this, I pulled out any gut supplements that could potentially cause any gas, bloating, or digestive issues. So I pulled out my enzymes, I pulled out my probiotic, which I did start a protocol about mid-prep when I was having some digestive issues. But when you do introduce these things, it can cause gas, bloating, and it can make your check-ins and just the whole process more frustrating and non-linear. So again, I pulled those things out, and now getting into improvement season where we should be working my food up. I should be able to tolerate and enjoy some different foods and some meals off plan. But unfortunately, the current state of my gut, I can't do that. And so historically, what I would do is I would do it anyways. I would still try to have these experiences. I would still try to eat these foods. I would still force and push past the discomfort because it's what you should do in improvement season, right? Eat more, enjoy foods, you have more freedom, flexibility, whatever. But over time, I started to develop a poor relationship with food and with these experiences because they actually weren't enjoyable for me. It just felt like it was so much to come back from an experience that was supposed to be enjoyable. And so I just stopped doing it. In my entire last improvement season, I just stayed 100% completely on plan, which got me incredible results, you guys. My progress was so awesome. And I felt as good as I could. I mean, if you've never worked your food up pretty high, it can be uncomfortable to push that amount of food, especially with a sensitive stomach. But I got the most linear progress that I possibly could have last improvement season, and I made a lot of progress if you've been following along with the journey, and it just made for a better prep too. So I'm happy. I am so glad I've had all of the experiences that have led me to this point, because it's also pointed me to the only direction, the only path that I want to take, even though it's going to be uncomfortable, even though it is uncomfortable. And that has led me to where I am here today, reintroducing once again these probiotics and these enzymes. And I don't want to do what I've always done and try to force these experiences. I don't want to try to force more food. I don't want to try to force new foods that I'm supposed to be enjoying, because I know I'm not going to enjoy them. So instead, my coach and I decided we were going to spend this time on doing the work and getting my gut in a better place so that I can have a more diverse diet and have a more enjoyable off season, improvement season, and prep in the future. So the work that we're doing right now is really just setting me up for the future. And so I'm gonna kind of take you through what I'm going through in real time with my gut health journey, how it's going, how it's affecting me mentally, physically, emotionally, my goals. Because truthfully, reverse diets can be really difficult. It can be hard to stay on plan. You're having cravings, especially with your hormones regulating, and there's just a lot of variables and factors to consider. And for me right now, my level of discomfort is because I am going through all of that in real time. But again, I want to make the most out of improving. I want to improve as much as I possibly can in this improvement season. And so it only makes sense for me to do everything all at once. With reintroducing my probiotic and enzyme, I have been doing this for 1 full week. Historically for me, this is the part where I am uncomfortable, I am bloated, I am gassy, I am still in the adjustment period, right? You have your days where it's good, where it's bad, where it's unsure, but like I'm at the level of discomfort right now where I would like to tap out and just go back to my gut reset, go back to a controlled environment, because the discomfort that I'm feeling is uncomfortable and I don't want to feel this way anymore. However, I have done this over and over and over again. I've gotten myself to this point and I tap out and I quit because I can't push through that discomfort, and it's kept me where I am. It's kept me where I've always been, which is unable to tolerate foods, to have these experiences that I haven't been able to. So right now in my improvement season, what this feels like is just doing what is required. Doing what is required to nail my reverse, doing what is required to improve my gut, doing what's required to improve my physique to better fit the bikini criteria. And everything that I'm focusing on right now is unfamiliar and uncomfortable. And because it's new, I am uncertain that any of it is going to work. But I trust in the process, and I trust in my coach, and I trust in my body, and I trust in my ability to grow through this. And so that's exactly what I'm doing. With my probiotic and enzyme protocol, I'm not going to show you the exact ones that I'm taking because I am working with my friend Dr. Michael, who prescribed these specifically for my body and my ailments. And so many times in my health, wellness, and fitness journey, I have just added to cart, copy and pasted whatever somebody else is doing, and I've tried it on for myself, and it has resulted in me wasting thousands of dollars and a lot of time. And so I don't want to be that for you. If you are interested in working with my friend Dr. Michael and getting a probiotic specific to your body, I would love to introduce you to him. But I think so much of wasted time and money for me has been taking probiotics and enzymes and gut supplements that apply to the masses. I've never taken a specific regimen for my body that an expert that knows probiotics and enzymes and what these big long words mean, because they all mean something. And when you don't know what you're taking, and this is something that applies to the masses, you don't really know what's what and what is working. Historically for me, that is what I've always done. And that is why when I get to this level of discomfort, I quit, because I'm not confident in the product that I'm taking. This time, I'm confident in the product that I'm taking. I'm confident in the food that I'm consuming, in the amounts that I'm consuming, and I'm confident in my ability to push through the discomfort, to execute the plan, to execute the reverse, and to do what's required. I will say in this protocol, I have kind of taken it upon myself to adjust the dosing, because when I started this protocol originally during my prep, Dr. Michael had me taking high doses, probably to get the most benefit, to get things moving the most quickly. But my system is so sensitive. And when I did this the first time around, I was so like a million times more uncomfortable than I am right now, because the products that I'm taking are very potent. So what I have done is I have cut the dose down. So for week 1, these are capsules. I have split up the amount of enzyme and the amount of probiotic. He also had me taking like 3 enzymes a day. I am taking half of 1 a day. And I am taking half of a probiotic a day. Even still, this has felt like a lot on my system, because coming out of show, my system is more sensitive than what it probably would be normally. And because things have been so controlled, I want to ease into this. And so that's exactly what I'm doing. After 1 week on this protocol, like I said, there were some highs and some lows, and I've just continued to do what is required. However, it was suggested to me to take my probiotic before bed, and towards the end of the week, it was starting to affect my sleep. So after talking with Coach, I decided I was going to kind of rearrange the times I was taking these supplements. And I am now this week going to try to take my probiotic in the morning and my enzyme a little bit later in the day. So today is the first day that I am now going to be taking my probiotic in the morning. I'm going about my morning as I always do, with my hot lemon water. I've got my gut drink, my mushroom coffee, and I will be adding in this probiotic here in the morning. The thing that I have learned with gut health over the last 10 years of my journey, because that's really when this started, was my early 20s. I started trying all these different diets, these different approaches, and bodybuilding really gave me the structure and the discipline and the ability to learn my body. And so it has certainly been a journey, but after all the education, after all the life experiences that I've had, I have built systems that have better helped me over the years navigate this, both mentally and physically. I've still been able to attain my physique goals. And that's from doing the work, mastering myself, learning my body, but having the discipline to keep a controlled environment. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong with implementing supplements or protocols. And that's somewhere that I have always went wrong in the past. And that's the biggest difference for me this time, you guys, is that discipline and desire to really want to get through this and on the other side of it so that I can have a better life. Because historically for me over the years, every time I would try a new protocol, I wasn't keeping a controlled gut environment. I wasn't sticking to a diet that was giving that protocol a chance to work. And that was just adding to the frustration. So this is actually great timing for me, because coming out of competition prep, my diet's already controlled. I'm already there mentally, you know? I will say there have been days, because when you do flip that switch into improvement season, you're like, oh yeah, now I can eat more. Now I can enjoy foods. And I can't. And instead of having FOMO and getting emotional and feeling like my body's working against me, I'm doing something about it. And what I'm doing about it is I'm taking this seriously. I'm keeping a controlled gut environment so that the protocol that I am implementing can actually work. Here is what I've learned about my body and my journey over the years. This is a pattern, okay? So I am very sensitive to fiber. Fiber feeds bacteria in the gut, good bacteria and bad bacteria. And when it feeds the bad bacteria, that's when you get the negative symptoms like gas, bloating. So for me, I can't tolerate a high fiber diet because of my gut environment. That's specific to my body. Everybody's different. So if this is resonating, this might be like a missing piece for you, but there is, for me, a dark side to fiber. Fiber has been like a huge buzzword. more fiber is better. And for me, that's not the case. And what I found is a lot of people with digestive issues, that's not the case. And there's also different kinds of fiber too. So that's a whole nother story. But for me specifically, high fiber foods or foods containing sugar are what feed the bad gut bacteria. And historically for me, every single protocol, I was not eliminating these things. So here I am implementing a new gut protocol that's already going to probably cause some digestive discomfort, right? But on top of it, I'm consuming foods that are feeding the good and the bad bacteria in my gut. So that is just causing so much more added discomfort than necessary. And when you do that, you don't know what's what. And so historically for me, in 1 week time, maybe I would be diligent and on my protocol Monday through Friday, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I would drink alcohol, I would eat out, I would have sugar, I would have whatever I wanted to eat. And that's where the discomfort that I'm feeling right now was times by like 100, and why I would tap out and why nothing would work. Because a plan or a protocol that works is one that is followed, and one that is followed correctly. And I have never 100% correctly followed a protocol, which is why nothing has worked for me. Same applies to training and nutrition. A plan cannot work if you are not following it. A plan cannot be adjusted to help you continue progressing if it's not being followed in the first place. So I'm living through this right now. So what I'm doing, what my coach and I are doing, is we are sticking to my diet. We are not adding in new foods. We are not doing meals off plan. We are not increasing food. My diet is my diet. And in the variable we are adding in is this protocol, is the enzyme, is the probiotic. And with the gas and with the bloating, I know what is what. And with the times that I'm taking it, I know when is working and when is not working. So we are able to better make decisions around the adjustments we are making to this plan in 1 week time to keep me progressing and to get me the results that I desire as quickly as possible. And so the level of seriousness that I am taking it this time is going to get me there faster. Now, is it going to be any less uncomfortable? Maybe yes, maybe no. It's certainly already been less frustrating because I know what is what. But discomfort wise, I'm still uncomfortable and the symptoms still suck. Not feeling great in my body, the brain fog. There is certainly a brain fog component, but then also coming out of prep too, my hormones, my cravings, like there's all of this stuff too. So I'm feeling all of it. I am really in the thick of it. So again, this part of the journey for me is called doing what's required, because I know the only way out is through. And the other piece of this is like life doesn't stop, you guys. I just had family visiting in town. We did a staycation, we did a zoo day, and I was a couple of days into this gut protocol. So what am I gonna do? I had the support from my coach to help me adjust my training, so I had like a little more capacity, because rest and recovery is so important right now. My routines are so important right now, being 2 weeks into my reverse. But the other part of being an athlete is navigating these situations. And in navigating this situation for me, it was a little bit inconvenient. It was a little bit uncomfortable, but it was more important that I spend this time with my family. And I also adhere to my gut protocol, and I also nail my reverse, because you can do it all. I used to think that experiences with the people that I love had to revolve around food, and they don't. If you can lock in during the competition prep for Christmas, Thanksgiving, you can also do that in the middle of July when you're adhering to a gut protocol. Because improving my gut health is just as important to me as getting on stage. You don't have to have a competition or a deadline set for a goal to be important, And the people in your life that love you and want you to feel better and want you to do better, they will understand that. So it's up to you to inconvenience yourself and take up that space. And for me, honestly, keeping these promises I make to myself has just become a part of who I am. And so far, this reverse is going as good as it could be. considering all the things we are working to improve, considering all the change that I am implementing. It has only been 2 weeks, and it has certainly been an adjustment period, pretty uncomfortable 2 weeks, but I am in the best position possible mentally, physically, and emotionally to get myself through this. And so that's really what I'm here to share. So if you have personally struggled in your gut health journey and you feel like you've tried everything, but have you really tried everything? Have you really given it 100%? Have you really stuck with it? That's question number one. Question number two, are you confident in the protocol that you're taking? Are you taking supplements that apply to the masses? Are you choosing inputs that are giving this protocol a chance? Or are you choosing inputs that are making the process more frustrating, where you cannot tell what is what? So for me today, in real time, I'm going about my normal morning, and I'm just gonna really be staying on top of my water intake today. I finally got a decent night of sleep last night, not doing the probiotic before bed. But today I'm just removing the little bit of fluff that I do enjoy, because I do not feel like Celsius packets affect me. And that's like the one thing in my day that I feel like is my treat, but I'm not gonna do it today. I'm just gonna do my plain black coffee and a lot of water, and then all of my meals are basically chicken, rice, vegetable, and I will do no sauces, spices, stevia. I'm just gonna do bare bones, give the adjustments that we made to my gut protocol of fighting chance, so that hopefully I have better data that this schedule and structure is gonna work moving forward. So I'm gonna get these morning drinks in, I'm gonna get this probiotic in, I'm going to get my fasted cardio, and I'm gonna get on with my day so that I can have my meal number one. All right, you guys, it is now 4:48 p.m. I have about 1,000 steps left to hit my goal. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been a pretty rough day for me. It's hard to tell really what's what, but I imagine that everything is relative to what is going on with my gut. When your hormones are regulating, when your gut is regulating, my skin is not its best self, my energy is not its best self. I am just truthfully not my best self right now, and I just feel like I'm really going through it. I have never felt this low of energy before. I'm like really dragging today. So with the probiotic change this morning, I decided to opt out of the enzyme for today because it is a rest day. My base food is lower and things are pretty calm and good. I've been on top of my water, my meal timing. I had to go into the office for a little bit, get some work done, but my brain fog, my brain function is not great. My energy is not great, but I am an athlete first, so I am getting these steps in. I'm getting some fresh air. I'm gonna go back home, get my meals ready for tomorrow, take a bath, and hopefully get a really good night's sleep. And with any luck, I will wake up brand new tomorrow. My biggest worry with switching my probiotic to the morning was it causing bloating and affecting my training. Since that didn't happen today, I'm going to stick on this routine tomorrow, but add the enzyme in after I'm finished training, assuming everything is good, great, and wonderful. The thing with implementing any protocol like this is you just have to be patient. And it's really easy to make emotional decisions when you don't feel good, but something that I do with and for myself when I am uncomfortable, because you have to remember discomfort is where the growth is happening. Usually when things get really hard and you just want to quit, if you just stick with it a little bit longer and you get on the other side of it, that's where the growth happens. And that's where I'm at right now. Like, I so badly want to tap out and just stop all of this and go back to my gut reset, go back to what I know is safe, right? But again, you guys, I have done that for so long and it's kept me where I am. It's kept me from getting better. And so something I do with and for myself when I want to quit, when I want to cheat on my diet, when I want to skip a workout, when I start negotiating with myself and with my goals, I acknowledge it and I give myself permission to quit, to cheat, to skip. I give myself permission to do that tomorrow, Because the worst decision that you can make when it comes to your goals is an emotional one. And by giving myself permission to make that choice tomorrow, it requires me to sit with these emotions and fully feel it. If you're wondering when tomorrow comes, those emotions pass because I'm still here, you guys. I have not yet quit. So if you're ever in the shit and it's getting really hard and you want to quit or you want to cheat on your diet or you want to skip your workout or whatever, I hope you think of this and I hope you use it. But when it comes to gut health, a few of the things that I want to share with you guys, I'll leave you with this in this episode. And obviously we're going to continue the journey. We're going to turn a leaf and we're going to heal this gut, okay? The only way out is through it, and we are going to get through this. But if you don't even know if you actually have gut issues, the first place that I would start if I were you is looking at your habits. Because most people don't have gut issues, they have habit issues. So look at your hydration, look at your sleep, look at your meal timing, look at what your meals are made up of, look at your activity level, your step goals. This is something that I offer in the first place that I start with anybody that works with me. Now, if you're already regimented, your habits are all in check, and you still have digestive issues, I would then start cleaning up your inputs. Utilize my gut reset, cut the fluff, introduce things one thing at a time and see what your triggers are. Build the discipline to be able to create a controlled environment. This is going to help you get closer to your physique goals, your gut health goals, any goal you have. If you can keep a controlled environment, you will get such linear progress. That's exactly what I did and have done in my health, wellness, and fitness journey in season and off season. And that is why and how I have made so much progress, you guys. That is also how I've gotten to the bottom of my gut health issues. I can confirm my habits are in check, my diet is in check. I can still reach and achieve my physique goals by keeping a controlled environment, but I cannot tolerate diversity in my diet, which means there is a bigger issue. And so with us now doing the work of creating a better gut environment, adding in enzymes, adding in probiotics, we're even discussing doing some stool testing to see if it's more of like a bacteria issue. This is where the change is actually going to happen, because I am now in a place where I can adhere to a protocol, because I have that level of self-mastery. But if you get to the point where you want to adhere to a protocol, make sure you do the correct testing and make sure you're doing the correct protocol. And so I work with my friend, Dr. Michael, who has prescribed me specific strains of probiotic for my specific ailments and foods that I am sensitive to, for my specific triggers, for my specific body, because the worst thing that you can do is guess. And the worst thing you can do is adhere to a protocol that you're not really adhering to. So it's a little bit of having the right who's in your corner, and it's a little bit of doing the work on yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, so that all of these things can come together and you can get closer to your goals. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I am in the shit right now, you guys. But like I said, the only way out is through, and we are going to get through this. Mark my words. All that to say, I've got my steps in for the day. I am an athlete first. I am going to get on with my night, get the rest of my meals in, and continue on this reverse, continue working on this gut, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when I'm just 2 weeks post-show. Like, there is no convenient time to do this work, you guys. But if you use every day to get better and you keep the promises you make with yourself, it does feel like less of a sacrifice and more of just who you're becoming, the best version of you. And the best version of me deserves a well-functioning, a high-functioning gut, so that I can grow these glutes and so that I can better fit the bikini criteria. And when I earn my title, I'll be able to enjoy my favorite foods to celebrate, right? That's the real goal. So all that to say, 2 weeks into this reverse, and it is my best one yet. A week into this protocol, and it is my best one yet, even though it's extremely uncomfortable. This is the best any protocol has gone because of how controlled my environment is. I am getting answers and data and feedback every decision I'm making because there's not a bunch of added fluff. I know exactly what I'm doing and what inputs are doing what, and so it gives me clear direction of the next choice to make next. And even when it's uncomfortable, it's just one decision after the next, using that discomfort as confirmation that I'm on the right path. And the crazy thing is, like, even in the shit, even in this work, this is the best reverse I have ever had. And what I told my coach during my last check-in, because I was just trying to find something positive to say, was that looking at my side-by-sides, that I look a lot better than I feel. This is the best I have ever looked and honestly felt mentally about the reversing process. This is also the best I have felt mentally about a gut protocol, just because of the level of self-mastery that I have. So while this work is uncomfortable and it feels like everything all at once, you know, I know the only way out is through, and I'm going to share the journey to hopefully help you guys out there that are going through something similar. Maybe you're just starting, maybe you've been here, maybe you've quit, and maybe you're about to restart again. Wherever you're at in the journey, I hope that this helps you, and please let me know if it does. But all that to say, that's where I'm at 2 weeks into my reverse, 1 week into this chapter of my gut health journey. And stay tuned, because I do believe with the level of seriousness I am applying to this experience, it's only gonna help expedite the process. And we might be a lot closer to relief than we think, you know? But that is all I've got for you guys today, and I will see you in the next one.